And the best financial decision I've made was I paid for good advice, genuinely. So I have a great accountant, I have a great solicitor, and I have a top class business advisor. And as a small business, when you're getting going, that can be a big outlay. But good advice is worth its weight literally in gold, and it has paid off handsomely. From the second piece then was valuing my own time and resources. So ultimately, when you run your own business, your IT, your compliance, your marketing, your sales, your finance, your operations, your distribution, and you have to be an expert in all these bloody things, and it can drive you mad. I suppose as quick as you can. I got a great piece of advice, and it was an old director I used to work for in an old business I worked in, and he basically said every year he'd write out his 20 tasks, and what he used to do is he'd look at his bottom 10 and he'd delegate them out. So he'd focus on the top 10. And from my perspective, that's just about hiring people in your business to be able to do those tasks in your business that necessarily, they add value to your business, but are the best use of your time. And it's not a tried and tested formula. It doesn't always work. It certainly worked for me, worked for other people I talked to about it. But that was a very that paid off handsomely in terms of giving me the time to be able to help grow the business. I suppose from a financial decision making perspective, was ultimately the business is not my pension. Because I talk a lot about diversification, so you don't have all your eggs in one basket. So if you're investing in a portfolio, it's the same principle. If all of your retirement eggs, if all of your exit strategy eggs, if all of your financial independent eggs are tied up in your own business, well, it can be risky. It's not necessarily will be, it just can be, right? So that's why what you need to be doing is funding your own pot. That's why pensions are very important for people who have their own business. You fund that pot. And then if the business turns out to be a brilliant money maker, happy days, your quid's in. If it doesn't and something happens, and unfortunately, as I said, during the pandemic, some businesses just won't survive post-pandemic. There was a lot of business supports there. They just won't survive. So if you were in a space whereby you were saying, well, my business is my pension, I don't need a pension, and because of the pandemic or because of what's going on at the moment in the world, there's a threat to your business, well then you have a double loss. You have a loss of livelihood and you have a loss of your future financial independence. So you fund your pension, you use your business is a vehicle to fund your eventual exit strategy. And pension is a very important part of that. And when it comes to your own personal wealth, I'm not saying your business is an important part of that. I'm just saying diversify, use the tax relief that's available, take advantage of it, get money into your pension. No matter what government or whatever revenue decisions are made in the future, they can't take away the tax relief that was granted to you today in your pension. So don't be worried about a Minister for Finance in 5 years' time standing up and going, we're getting rid of tax relief on company pensions. If you've been funding it for the last 5 years, at least you've gotten it in. You won't be looking back in 5 years' time going, oops, I missed that boat.